Hi there guys, this is Farmer Bob. Welcome back to my channel and also on another video on map making. And today we tackle the big boy, the vehicles or the traffic system. The previous video was on the pedestrian system, and today's video we're going to do the vehicle system. Now the vehicle system is a huge leap forward from the pedestrian system. But before we get stuck in that, if this is your first time, a warm welcome to you. Hit the subscribe and the like now while we're on the topic, because that will really it will make me happy and as well help my channel grow nicely. So thank you so much for that. Thanks for watching and thanks for joining. Great guys. So the vehicle system. If we look at the vehicle system, it is much more integrated into the map than the pedestrian system. The pedestrian system, you just put it here and there because you don't want to have people everywhere on the map. But vehicles is everywhere on your map's roads. The reason being, your AI system uses the whole network of your splines to navigate and to know where to drive. There unfortunately aren't any AI. Maybe when it comes to the fields, they are a little bit of artificial intelligence, but they actually just follow the dotted lines. That's all they do when driving around from spot to spot. And it's maybe a little bit of programming involved if you want to say to it to go to that spot on the map, you know, then figuring out a route via all the splines that is there to get there, because otherwise it would bump into stuff and just, yeah, I don't think it will bump because it's got a little bit of detection ahead of the vehicle and that you know, which you can see obviously if you're in your map and you press, I think it's F5 when you're in your vehicle, you'll see the navigation system triggers and things around it, you know. But anyway, enough talk about that. Let's have a quick look at how the splines for the vehicles work. Now, to sort of break it down, you will see your spline is made up of two things. It's the straights, all the straight splines, and then all your crossings, all your junctions and crossings that goes over the road. So the thing to do is to do all your crossings first. So make all your crossings, do all your junctions first, and then you can just come along afterwards and fill in all the straight splines. So that is basically what you will be needing to do. Let me just see if I can actually. Unfortunately, there we go. Now you can see all the crossings that they've selected to use in this map. And obviously you don't have to go to all extent and do all the little dice roads in your map. That's not really necessary, but do all the main roads where you want your vehicles to travel from point A to point B on your map. So keep that in mind. So let us quickly have a look at two junctions here. I've highlighted this to select them. I just want to get down to them where they are. They are here, junction A, which is, I think, this one here. And what they are basically is just a matter of keeping in mind what country you are in, because this country in the Alps drive on the right side of the road. As you can see here, there's a stop sign. So in other words, in your mind, you just need to remember what side of the road you drive in, and then you want to put a spline where the car must drive around the bend. So in other words, you'll see a junction always have 6 splines in it. Taking the first one, so the vehicle will come this way with the straight spline and it will join up here, and then there's a start and an end of it, and then obviously the other straight spline going down this way will have a start here by the end and going that way. So that is basically how you need to think of doing this. So there's the first one, and then the second one, you'll see the vehicle comes that way and it makes a turn into, it's from the right into the right, and then the next one from the right into the right, and then obviously that one going straight through. That's another option of driving, and then this one here going turning left into the right lane, and then this one here just going straight across again that way. So all the options of vehicles turning is sort of set up here in this little 6 splines. And then all you do is you start with one of them. Say for instance this is your first one. You'll do a start, and you'll just go around the bend and end there. And then you will obviously see, okay, I need to end here. So the next one you will do, obviously do that one, start there and end here. And where you end, you just put the two ends together so that they are, it's like as close you can together. They don't have to be like perfect, but as long as they're very close together. Just zoom in quite good and put your last waypoint or the end of it just on top of the other one, or as close as you can get. And that is basically it for the junction. So you will firstly do all the junctions in your map. The best thing for you to do is to make a how can I say, plan your driving routes that you want to do, and then do all your junctions first. And like I say, and then once you've done all the junctions, I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see the splines, how they are. Some of them are short, like that one there. There you can see. I'm just going to quickly run through them. That's all the straights in the whole map. So if I go fast through them, you'll see they are all just connecting between all the junctions. So that's what you do afterwards. And that's basically, once you've done all of the driving routes, you will end up with a spline that runs from point A to point B anywhere in your map. And that's basically what you want to achieve with the whole vehicle spline. Alright, so that is how it works. Now I'm going to show you how to do it in your map from scratch. If you have nothing in your map, we're going to start there, and I'm going to run you through how to do that. Guys, just one tip that I can give you. What I've done is I've come into the Alpine map. I've opened the Steam Apps Common Farming Simulator 22 Data Maps Map Alpine, the i3D, in the editor, and then I've selected the splines group. Actually, you can actually just do the traffic system, because the splines group has got no script running. So the traffic system is the one you want. But you also would like to have the AI, and the AI now forms part of the spline, you see. And there's nothing in the AI, guys. The AI only has the script running. So to bring that over as well, just export the whole spline. So you click on the spline, go File, Export Selection with Files, go to your map. I'm using the Freakly map. And then you just give it the name spline, make a temporary directory like new folder, and then call it temp, you know, that sort of thing. I'm just going to do it, and then in here I'll just call it spline, just like that. That is a strange thing that I've pressed there. I don't know what that is, but anyway, it's like a bracket. Don't often use those. And then you say save, and then when it gets to this question, you just say yes to both of them. Alright, and then you can close the Alpine map. We're not going to save, obviously. So here we are in the Freakly map. And what I've done now is I've just imported that spline. So I'll go File, Import, and it should open to you immediately where you've exported to. So there it is, Freakly Maps, Temp, whatever, and Spline. And then you import it and drop it in your map somewhere so you can just have it visually, you know. So I think I've chucked mine under, I think it's gameplay. Yes, here it is. And there's the traffic system and the AI. The pedestrian system now I've already done on my previous video, so you can watch that if you're more interested in that. So we're not going to go into that. So here is the map Alpine spline system now. And I only have this here just to have an example. To have an example of how to do it, you know. So what we're going to do is I am going to, let me just see, I'm going to cut this spline, the traffic system, because I want to make it from scratch. So I'm going to cut this one out of my transform and just drop it here at the bottom of my transform, on my scene graph. Alright, so now it's out of my spline system, because I want to do it from scratch with you. But we do have the example now, you know, so the example helps a lot, guys. All right, so first thing first, we have to create a traffic system just a transform. So we're going to take that name, traffic system, copy it, create, spline. Not a spline, sorry man, what am I doing? Transform. Stuff happens, guys. And then overwrite the name, Control V, like so. This now is if you have nothing in your map. Control X. But I will suggest, to save you a bit of time, just leave this traffic system in there and just delete all the splines in it. You can delete all the splines in here. But the splines themselves also have scripts running, so or attributes. So you want to just copy one of those just to have it in your map. But since we already have it here, it's going to be easy just to just leave it in there for examples. If you want to have a look to familiarize yourself with junctions, then you can have it here. Press F, and then there it is. I must just bring it up a little bit. So if I want to bring this one up, there it is. Now I can go and have a look at that, how it works and how it looks, and so and once you're done with your spline, you can delete this whole thing out of your map. Then it doesn't have to hang around. So anyways, there's the traffic system. So we're going to look now first. The traffic system has two attributes, an onCreate. So we take that name, traffic system.onCreate, copy it, and we're going to go into the i3D of Farming Simulator 22 data. We're going into Maps, Map Alpine, find the i3D for Map Alpine, right click, open with Notepad. So if you were using now the US map, obviously you'll open the US one, just in case names change or scripts change and stuff like that, Click somewhere where there's nothing, Control F, Control V, paste that name in there, find next, and there it is. Everything you need to know about that particular one. It's an onCreate, a script callback called traffic system.onCreate. So we're going to do that one now, and then there's another attribute for it, XML file, and it runs the traffic system.xml. Very important, because that makes the spline what it is. It's a traffic spline. Alright, so first things first, onCreate, we copy that, and we go into our map. Make sure your traffic system is selected. You just add the name of the attribute, paste it, onCreate, and then back into the XML. It's a script, callback is the type, so you can just select there, and while I'm here I'm going to copy this, because then we save a bit of time. Control C. Alright, come back to the map. So it's a script callback, we selected the type and we click add, and then there it is, and now we just paste the actual attribute of the onCreate in there, or the script that's running. Good. And then now there's a next one that we have to add, which we saw there. It's called an XML file, so we're going to copy that. Control C. It's a string, right? So that's the first thing. So it's an XML file, the name, Control V, and it's a string, and it's going to click on add, and then obviously we just paste the file to run in there. Good. And that is the directory for it. Now if you were obviously now on the US map, it will be $data maps map US traffic system.xml. So that's all. But we just copy this here, because I am using the Alpine map for mine, and it doesn't really matter. You can use anyone as your heart's content. But I did see that in the traffic system there's number plates, so choose your country wisely to keep the number plates and all those things of the traffic system sort of relevant, as far as you can be. Okay, there you go, traffic system.xml. So there's our traffic system now set up. Easy peasy, not very difficult. Okay, so now the next thing we want to do is we want to create a spline and just give it this two scripts. So all we're going to do now is find the spline, take the name of this straight out of map 01. Alright, so that's a spline. Control C, and it will be under splines in this i3D. So we can just go in here, Control V, find it, there it is, transform group traffic system, straight out of map 01. You see, And now what we want to do is grab the node ID for it, copy the node ID, drop the node ID in here, Control V, and find it. And there it is. That's what we need to put in there. So max speed scale is the name of the attribute. So I'm going to double click to copy, Control C, back in here. Oh, first of all, we want to create a spline for us, obviously. So let's close this transform now and create a spline like so. And while it's here, let's put the attributes in there. So let's just go for it there. So it's max speed scale. It's a float and the value is 1. So it is a float. So it's floating. I don't know why it's floating, but anyway, it's floating and the value is 1. There it is. Okay, good stuff. Oh, mustn't close it. Here we go. And then obviously the next one is speed limit. Control C, and it's a float and it's 87. All right, so back in our map, Control V, paste it, and it's a float, and we add, and the value is 87. And that is it, guys. There's everything you need to know in your adding your vehicle spline. So Control X, drop it into the traffic system, Control V, and now you're going to start, guys. Like I said, do all your junctions first. Yeah, I would suppose start at one end of the map and work your way through the next. This map Frickley has got a main road going all the way right through the map up to that side, and then it's got a road here with a junction, a wide junction going off there, and it's got a wide junction going off there again, and there on top there's a T junction. So there is a few junctions for me to do, but let's just do one together and we can see how it works. So first of all, you will come, you see, you must now think also of your AIs, because your AIs is going to come and it's going to drive in here and go in here. So that will be one junction here, but there's no junction here to go in. Alright, so what we're going to do, let's do this junction first. Good, let me quickly come closer here, just set up my screen nicely. Now, this little bit is dust road. It's like gravel coming down, so there's no tar. The tar ends up there. So here we go. England drives on. Better check on what side does they drive. I'm not sure. How do they drive? Where's that little traffic sign? Somewhere there was traffic signs. Here we go. Okay, so they drive on the left. It's like us here in South Africa. We drive on the left. Okay, good stuff. I wasn't too sure now which side of the road the guys there travel on. So keep in mind, guys. So we're gonna have to do it right. All right. So all it is then is the first spline. We're going to Control B. And do keep in mind, guys, your not only direction, but that you have enough space for your vehicles between the splines, So I'm going to just move this whole thing a little bit to the side. It's going to be crazy because you're going to have to keep enough space for big vehicles and small vehicles, So there you go. Great. Okay, so that's our first one, and then like the same as the pedestrians, you turn the spline to have your start on the side that you want the start to be, and then the traffic is going to move that way, the end. All right, so there you go. I'm just going to Control B once again, just to make sure this is actually sitting on the road, and then all you do then is come close, click on the little blue E. There you go. Once you've got the E selected, you press the insert, bloop, and you can keep keep pressing the insert a few times if you want to create a few splines for you, but the easiest is just do one at a time. Take it slow. Go Control B. I'm going to make a long turn, so insert again. Control B. Come forward a little bit. And insert again. And then insert again. Control B. And insert again. And Control B. And that's basically how we move this thing about. Insert and Control B. And it's the same as the pedestrians. You want to have a lot of them if there's inclines and uphills and all kinds of stuff, you know. So all right, so that is my vehicle coming in. Now we want to take from the vehicle going straight. So that's our next one, or we can do the vehicle going out. Doesn't matter which one. You're going to end up all the same, because there's going to be 6 of them when you're finished. So the easiest will obviously be either create a new spline or just duplicate that one. Control D, have it selected. Control D, like so. And then I'm just thinking, guys, we should have actually created another transform, but we can do that after we finish with the 6 splines, and drop it in and call the T-junction shop junction, you know, something like that to give you an idea. So we'll do that when we finished. All right, and now obviously with the next one, you go to the at the S, find the start. So we want to move it, select the S, there it is. And this one will start here now. Sorry, it will start here, and we need to think now how we're going to travel. So this one will, let's move it across there. So start here, move out there, that type of thing. Think. So that one comes in, and this one goes out. So you can't go in here, but you can travel straight there. So we can, let's do the straight one. Yeah, let's do a straight one. So start there, stays at the same. So we press the right arrow to take the next spline, and I'm going to skip one because that one is still going straight. And the next one, Control B, I'm going to just start splitting them there. Right arrow, Control B. Oh, I'm going to have to come closer. Control B. Don't come too close to it because it sort of wants to jump back. One right arrow again, Control B. And then here we go. And then right arrow, Control B. Just keep your line parallel now there. And right arrow, Control B. Don't worry about the red dots. We're following the blue dots, guys. And right arrow, Control B. I'm just going to grab my thing a little bit to the sides, like so I can move on a bit. Okay, one right arrow, Control B, right arrow, and then that is basically what we do. Until you get to the end. Right arrow, Control B, there you go. So that's the end of that spline. So now we've physically moved that one, we've created this one, we created the second one, and now obviously we just rinse and repeat, guys. Control D. Right, so there you go. So we're going to find and it's already highlighted for us, so we just find that S again, click on the S, there you go. So that's our third one. Now we want to start coming from this way, so we're going to do an S start there, Control B. Let's drop the start here, and let's do the vehicle just driving straight up. Alright, so here we go. Right arrow, Control B, right arrow, Control B. You can probably do this with way less little dots, but I think just take your time, be diligent, and the reward will be when you're done with it and it's working. That will be good. Control B, right arrow. Just don't worry about the red dots, guys. We're doing the blue dots, so just focus on the blue dots. And I don't think mine is going to look as nice as the guys in-game stuff, because they are masters at these things. But I think at the end of the day, as long as it works, I'll be happy, you know. That type of thing. Alright, so we have the vehicle coming in. We have the vehicle, the second one is going straight, and the third one is coming this way. So now we want to bring one in here. So let's copy the next one, duplicate, Control D. You know what, just to make it easier for me, I'm not going to duplicate that one. Let's delete that. I'm going to duplicate the first one, Control D, because then what's going to happen is it's not going to jump to itself, you know. So let us start with the S. Yeah, I'm too far. I can't select the little dot. Come on. There you go. It's fairly difficult to get that little weasel there. Go up again. Right, like that. So now it's just a matter of Control B, and this is where you want to just bring it as close as you can off to the other dot and drop it. One right arrow, Control B, and it is just rinse and repeat, guys. Right arrow, Control B, and just bring it in. Right arrow, Control B. Yeah, it works much better to stick to take another spline than working on the same one. Just duplicate another one. So this oak is still driving straight. I think around about up, you see it wants to jump onto that spline there. Right arrow, Control B. Right arrow, Control B. I think it's just when you come close to the other one, you know. And there you go. And then lastly, guys, so there we have now a guy coming in from there in, and we still need to have the out now going that way. So that will be one, it's coming in, driving straight, coming in from there in. Oh, I've done it wrong here. I've just saw it now. This one should actually come in here, because it's left into left. You see how easily it is to make a mistake. So let us just grab this E again. There you go. And then I can just reverse with the left button. Just reverse the splines. I think, yeah, from about there. So from that one, Control B, I just need to move it in here. Right arrow, Control B. Strange how this thing wants to jump to the other one. Right, there you go. Okay, so we have that one coming in. And now we need the one out and the other one out that way. Alright, so there's two more to go. So I'm going to take that very top one, that one, and duplicate that. It's going to be easy enough. Control D. Right, and then find the S. I thought I'll give it a go from up there, but it didn't work. There you go. Thought maybe I'll be lucky enough to just click it right. Control B. Good. Right arrow. Now I just carry on. What's actually nice is that it's already there, so I can just sort of reroute this little waypoints a bit. Come bring that one a bit closer. Control B. There you go. I think that's all right. Just want to move that one a little bit. Make a bit more of a round turn, you know. And then lastly, I think let me use that one this time, because I think it sort of works easier, because I can now just reroute this view to go there, because that one is already set up there, so it works nicely that way by the looks of it. Let's try again. Did I get it? I'll be surprised if I got it. Is it really it? Oh my word, it does look like it. Oh gosh. Okay, so it's going to start from here and then just drive around to end there. So we're going to now put this one, the start, Control B, and we have to drop it on top of this blue one here. So I'm going to, if you click and hold your mouse button and you bring it closer, it actually jumps to that little spot there. So that actually helps a lot. Right, and then a right arrow, Control B, a right arrow, Control B. You see now it wants to jump onto that boy there. I don't want it to jump there, because then it's going to, right, let's do right arrow, Control B. Once we got it a little bit further out, there you go, something like that. And now we can reverse and just bring this a little bit, make it nicer, something like that. Great, guys. 1 2 3 4 5, we short one, so we've got that one coming in, we've got that one going straight. Alright, so we've got Wait, where's my straight one gone to now? I've just did I not duplicate it? I forgot to duplicate it. My word. Okay. So I'm going to have to do the straight one again. Oh my word. Alright, so spline start end, spline start end. So I'll duplicate this one, Control D, because we need the straight one coming from that way here again. I thought I'm finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, Control D. Oh my word. Did it now make it? There you go. So we want to go to the start, to the end, sorry. End. And drop it on the other end. Control B. There we go. And now all we do is just reroute this little majafterkies. So that one there is the start. That is alright. The next one we need to move, start going straight. Like I say, I think the guys in game, they are artists, you know. I'm not an artist, so mine will probably look a bit worse than this, but it will still do the job. That's basically the idea. And there you go, guys. That is now our one junction done. So now, obviously, you can now, in your mind, see that every junction that you need to do this way, it takes a lot of time by the looks of it. It's a lot of stuff that you need to do. There's no junction there, so it will just be splines running from that start and end, two of them coming up this way, all around the bend, and then obviously here's a cell point, so we're going to have a junction here. This is going to be a cross junction, because there's a cell point there as well, so we're going to have to do a cross junction here. So I'm not going to bore you with that, because it took quite a bit of video time doing that one. So I'm going to quickly do this one off video, and then I'll do the straights in here, and then we can test it in a map and see how it works. Good. Right, I forgot to put all the splines in the thing, so all we're going to do is create a transform and call it junction. Oh, so I'm again so used to this thing. It's supposed to start typing there. Let's call it junction shop, then I know where it is, right? And then Control X that, just drop it in there. You're supposed to do this first and then start your spline in that junction, you know. It's because now I have to move them all, which won't be a problem. Control X, just cut them, and then Control V on this junction shop, and when we look back there, they should still all be here. There it is, yeah, no worries. Good. Okay, excellent. Well guys, this is our second one, our second junction, and all I'm going to do now is create straight splines from there to there, and then obviously from there coming back. Alright, so there we go. Let's do that. Alright, so easy peasy. I'm going to select obviously this straight spline here. It's already straight, and then all we do is duplicate it. Control, maybe I should now obviously start with creating a transform for straights. Let's just call this straights, or just straight, and then go there, Control X, once again Control V, drop it in there. There it is. And now just find that straight, duplicate it, cut it, Control X, and drop it in there, Control V. And now it starts here. This is the start and that's the end. So I'm going to go there where it needs to start, here on this one. So I'm going to go zoom out a little bit, Control B, and then obviously you'll see that this one is now not aligned right, but I can use the edge of the road to sort of just get it a little bit more straight and move it closer to where I want it. I'll leave it there because we're going to have to reroute every little spline or node. Control V, and then once again just click and hold and let it magnetically fall onto that. And then the same drill when you get to the end of it. I'll show you now when you get to the end. Let me just lay down this whole little path here. Control B, right, Control B. There's way too many waypoints here on top of one another. You can stretch them a bit, but it doesn't really matter. We'll put new ones down now. You see, now we're getting close to the end of things. So there we are. Now we're at the last one. And now instead of placing the last one, we just press the insert again. Control B, and then we'll move the E on the end, and Control B, insert, Control B, and we'll just carry on. Insert, Control B. Instead of the right button, we just now use the insert again. And like I said with the splines as well, don't make, especially when you're going up a slope, your thing might go underground like this one, you know. So yeah, be careful with that, because I don't think that will be noticeable, but when it disappears, yeah, you're going to have a problem with your wheels looking flat and your vehicle going flying. So I'm just doing this quickly just for the video's sake. But once we're here on the tar you can stretch this thing like fast, you know. One last one for the good measure. And now we just go straight up there to the end. We don't need. What I'll do is I'll put one in the middle just for the fun of it. Insert Control B, and then that will be our last one. Just drop it on top of that one. Good. Right, got a little bit of a kink there, but you can always, with the forward and back arrow, come back and move your points, you know, just to sort out kinks and whatever. Good. So now I'm just going to grab the other straight and do the back, and then we're going to test it. Right, guys, there's my whole piece of spline built, I would say. And now I'm just going to delete the old one. We're not using that anymore. In fact, Control Z, because I wanted to just check the AI, but I do have an AI there. So if you don't have an AI, let me quickly help you with the AI just to set up that script. It's very simple. It's just a matter of copying that. So you create a transform group called AI, and I want to just move up my traffic so it's on top, then pedestrian, then AI. So what you'll do is you'll copy this on create script name, Control C, and then in the the, what do you call it, the FS22 directory, data, maps, maps Alpine, i3D, right click, open with Notepad++, then Control F and Control V to search, and then we can find it, see what spline it is and what. Control F, Control V, and find it, and there it is, guys. It's an onCreate, it's a script callback, and the name is that one there. So all you do is copy the name, first double click on onCreate to copy, Control C, and now it's a script callback. So you will go into your map, then first you should create and transform, right click, create transform, and then just call it AI, like so, enter, and then on it you will Control V, paste the onCreate, and select script callback, click add, and there it is. And now you just go back into there and copy this whole section of text in there, copy, and then back in the map, drop it in there, and there you are. Now you've got an AI system running on your, and obviously drop it into your splines folder, and there it is. So there, that one I can delete, and then once you're done, guys, just remember to select the visible option here on your things so that it's not visible on the attributes, and then the splines is visible so that you can select the main transform and see all the splines. I like it that way. Much better. Just another tip, guys, where your vehicles end, say there's a road and you get to the end of your map, you have to put a spline there, start and end, driving out of your map and then coming back and then meet the other spline for the other direction of traffic. So what's going to happen now, obviously, if you have ends of the splines where there's a dead end of the spline, the traffic can't do anything there. A car can't turn around on the tip, you know, like a human can. So what you're going to get is this type of problem, like I've just showing you here. This yellow is a horrible color. That's just for the pedestrians. There it is. That's for the cars. It says the traffic road spline straight to dead end found at this. So you're going to have those errors if you have dead ends that doesn't follow into another spline, you see. So be sure you have all your splines connecting to one another and forming circles for your vehicles to travel. Right, guys, just for testing, I've just done some loops at every junction's end, you know, just to have the traffic flow in like a circle, you know. That's basically the idea. Alright, guys, if you have errors that says there's open ends to your splines, you're going to have to go through each one. That's why I say rather come in very close to your nodes where they all join together. Like there's 3 here. So what you can do is, I'm here on this spline, so I'm just going to select this one here, Control B, just move it away a little bit, and then grab another one, Control B, and there you see now I've got all 3 there, so there's 3 coming together. So I'm going to let the 2 connect to one another, and then I'm going to grab this one again and just Control B and let it also fall on top of the other one, like with that magnet effect. That way, if you can just verify all your joints, all should be well, save, and then let's check. Right, guys, I've struggled to find it, but anyway, in the error itself, you will see that it gives you coordinates for the exact spot. And then what you can do in your map, this is the X and a Y coordinate. You can just go and find it. There it is, X and Y. So I found the problem there and just fixed it. It was this open loop there that was causing the problem. So I just rerouted that and just let them all be on top of one another and all sorted out. Right, guys, here we are in map. And here's the vehicles driving on our spline. As you can see, I forgot to to make the spline invisible again, and this sharp U-turns that the vehicles have to make. It's a bit ridiculous, but there you go. They are running like crazy, driving nicely, and that is just AI vehicles, or shall I say the spawned vehicles of the game. So here we go. Let's just have a look where that other vehicle has gone. There's it. A white one and a red one. Good. Nice. It looks very good, I must say. I'm chuffed with that. Just for now, just for testing. And that guy had a bit of a blonde moment there. Don't know what he was thinking. But anyway, let us have a quick browse there. I just want to end off the video on showing you to just make all these things invisible again in the editor. My thing is a bit slow now obviously because of the game running in the background as well. But do make them invisible. Just all the transforms, and then they should be fine in game, not to be seen. I must also do those for they are just the turnaround points. Great, guys. So yeah, that was quite fun and quite interesting. Now you can also see that there's no real AI involved here. It's just vehicles following the splines. The AI is more like from point A to point B. You select in the AI part of the job in the game. You select where you want to go, and it follows the splines up to there. And then you'll also see the last thing I wanted to share with you, your sell points. I don't have a sell point in the game yet, but your sell points, if you look at the sell points, the i3D, if you open it, you'll see there is a spline that runs over the sell point, the start and end. So you're going to have to bring your spline in and connect with that spline on the other side out, and then come out for the sell points to work. Otherwise your sell points won't, your vehicles won't know to drive there as well, so that is basically the same story as we have in the game with auto drive and those things, where you have to put down all the waypoints. It's just one huge step in this editor. With auto drive and course play, it's actually so much easier. You just drive, making little dots as you drive. That's so much better. Although the new course play doesn't work like that anymore. I'm very disappointed with the way the new course play works. It's part of the game now, and yeah, they've taken the Jipper route using the AI splines as well, for driving up and down. So you can't make the little dots anymore. I might be talking trash. I haven't worked with courseplay for 6 months or so, so it's possible that they've changed their ways. Saw the light, One quick last thought, guys. This XML file that we put into the traffic system transform group, if you go to that XML file and you open it up, this is what's in it. It's the vehicles, and then it's got the few different types of vehicles with their XML files. You can go and view these vehicles, and it might be possible for you to change them and put other vehicles in if you want to play around with that. And then the probability of one, I'm not too sure what that will be, and probability parked. Yeah, that is some things you can fool around with. But do copy this file, the traffic system.xml, copy it and put it in your map folder, and point this XML file to your map folder and not to the in-game one. And then you can edit and play around with that, Might be interesting to put a tractor in there to drive around, I'm sure you can fiddle around. If you fiddle around enough, you'll be able to do that. And then obviously also the last thing is, if you go into your splines, you can set the speed limit there for how fast the vehicles must travel there, and the max speed scale. I'm not too sure what that is for, but the speed limit definitely makes sense, 87 kilometers an hour. So yeah, you want to have a look at that too, and you can set each spline its own speed. So in rural areas it might be fast, and in cities it might be slow, you know, like 30 k's an hour. Because otherwise you're going to have a bullet flying past, killing people, you know. That type of stuff. Like these maniacs that just drive through people, you know, in cities and just go crazy. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Remember to like and subscribe, and do share my videos. I appreciate that very much. Okay, guys, take care, man. Cheers.